Holy cow! This is a major story that just dropped by OMG M. James O'Keefe about the Jeffrey Epstein saga that is important to take a look at.
It's not talked about yet, but it's soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA informant.
Or he wasn't a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there.
As there's a lot there about the Clintons, as this new bombshell revelation by James O'Keefe is, I cannot understate it, huge, major, big, breaking news. Senior DOJ Epstein investigator reveals Epstein was CIA and working with a foreign government. What type of foreign government are we talking about here? Well, I think we have some good guesses here, as we have some surprising news surrounding Donald Trump that the left has been attacking regarding this Epstein saga. While this guy came out and just exposed something about Bill Clinton that we've been talking about for years now, as Dan Bongino, the current deputy director of the FBI, that many people say is going to be kicked out and fired soon, who is at odds, allegedly, with Pam Bondi and the Ice Maiden inside of the White House, that he also corroborated this story many years ago, as a lot of people aren't connecting the dots here, but I think it's more important to connect the dots more than ever, as James O'Keefe even goes into details about showing this story to Charlie Kirk when he was still alive and what Charlie Kirk told him to do, as he was talking about being conflicted about reporting on this, especially with how this will affect the Trump administration. Charlie's had some very interesting things to say. We're going to get into that and a lot more here, as if you appreciate these type of nonstop breaking news videos, subscribe, click the notification. As of course, also don't forget to subscribe to James O'Keefe, who just dropped this major bombshell from what looks like a random airport conversation from a man that just had an FBI logo on his bag, as O'Keefe describes how this guy was just approached and he was talked to by one of his undercover reporters and then broke this major, huge bombshell story while recording this person secretly on September 8th, many, many days ago. Pretty much letting the cat out of the bag. And all the theories that we had, that we've been talking about for 15 years, pretty much bidding correct. Clinton, apart and seeing the abuse of small children, correct, boom, we had that one right. Saying, hey, Trump is acting weird here, but all the victims say he didn't do anything, boom, correct here. Epstein being a CIA guy working with the federal government, boom, correct here. Everything we've been saying. And many years ago, we were called crazy conspiracy theorists. Like, no way. There's an international extortion blackmail operation involving the U.S. government and other foreign governments using taxpayer dollars in order to dangle children in front of powerful people to have them do horrible things to them in order to get power over them and leverage over them. No, you're crazy. Well, this story now officially confirmed here, as of course, James O'Keefe did what Donald Trump didn't do, and that is expose this entire operation. Work that is more important than ever regarding the scandal, this issue that I think absolutely deserves all of our attention right now. And if you agree, share this video, get it out there.
But he's protecting a lot of people. Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax of the case, like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. Mm-hmm. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids.
And an abuse occurred.
But that can't be said for Clinton. And it can't be said for others.
That can't be said for Clinton. That cannot be said for others. That's big here. Now listen, just even a few hours ago, there was a Trump Epstein Best Friends Forever statue that was placed right outside of the Capitol on the Washington Mall here. And of course, Donald Trump, and we said this from the very beginning, you're giving the left leverage here against you, your political agenda, your political capital, by protecting, aiding, and abetting the Clintons. The Clinton and the Democratic Party establishment that had you imprisoned, that had you facing 700 years in jail. Why are you protecting the scoundrels that clearly are your political enemies? Now, the statue definitely doesn't look like the most accurate type of statue there. But this is an issue that has been becoming the Trump issue, right? And it only happened because of the lack of disclosures, the lack of communication, the lack of answers here. And I think we just got officially the everything all the conspiracy theorists were saying comes out to be true. And again, a lot of people are just using this. This is the time for Donald Trump to come out and be like, oh, yeah, it was exposed. Yeah, it's true. Yep. Okay, let's open up investigations. Yep. Because doubling down on it is only going to hurt more of his political capital, more of his political will here. Now, this is big, big, big time news here that, goodness gracious. I mean, everyone, even throughout the last few kind of days, kind of stopped talking about Epstein. This is the way to actually bring it up, to say the least. Now, we're going to play a little bit of this Bongino clip, who literally talked about his source being on the plane with Clinton's, them going in the back and doing some weird stuff, which confirms everything that was pretty much said here and now officially verified. As the DOJ released their own statement on this particular matter. Now, before getting into any of that, I mean, the onus right now, especially all on Pam Bondi. It looks like Kash Patel's trying to fight Pam Bondi. That's also happening behind the scenes. We'll get into all that and a lot more. Before we do, sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. Independent media needs your support. LukeUnfiltered.com. Signing up is quick. It's easy. It's simple. All you have to do is literally click the link down in the description below. Whatever you can afford. Independent media is something that isn't supported by governments or major corporations or big-time financiers and backers. We're supported by you and you only. And that's how we like it. I don't want my news. I don't want my information. I don't want all the work I do to be dictated by a private entity or some big donor, some big guy with money that says, come on, you're going to talk about this. You're not going to talk about this. Listen, we do our best to give back. We used to do nature hikes, range days, city tours. We used to have dinners together for members. You guys could still, now because of the security issue, now you guys could still talk to me one-on-one through the Telegram channel, but we're going to be doing a live hangout event for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you want to be a part of that, hang out, just a special show where you get to ask questions, you get to call in. No one else will see this except other members. Sign up right now. I'm going to be announcing that date very soon on LukeUnfiltered.com. As of course, we're going to be doing a lot of really cool, awesome, fun things only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up right now. Now, there's still a lot more to this particular video that we're going to be playing from here. But here's Dan Bongino. Many, many years ago, before he was the deputy director of the FBI. It's still being rumored that, by the way, he quit during the whole Epstein debacle. And that they're just postponing this so it doesn't look too on the nose here, and that he's going to be replaced, as there's already a deputy FBI director that has been brought in that a lot of people believe will be his replacement. As now, there are many reports that things are very awkward between Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and the Ice Maiden. Now, a lot of pressure has been put specifically on Pam Bondi and the Ice Maiden, Susie Willis, that a lot of people point the direct kind of blame on, saying this is why we're not getting any other revelations here. There's also allegations with them having connections to Pfizer, Susie Willis, of course, having connections to Bibi Netanyahu, who a lot of people believe represents the other foreign government that has been mentioned here in this particular video. But here's Dan Bongino a few years ago.
I'm telling you, there could be some national security problems here. Because, ladies and gentlemen, nobody knows how much material people have on Jeffrey Epstein. Who was videoed where those videos are. I was told by someone a long time ago, a very knowledgeable reporter, and it's not my information. I'm not hiding. Oh, you're hiding up for some foreign government. You're protecting. I'm not protecting anyone. I'm only telling you what I was told. That some governments around the world may have some material that...
What kind of governments? Previously on the Timcast show, he was like, oh, governments in the Middle East. Which ones? You know which ones he's talking about.
It's related to the Epstein thing. Bill Clinton was knee deep in this, man. I have a very, very good source. I've told you this story. Forgive me for repeating it if you're a P1, but some people are new here and never heard this. He was on the plane with Bill Clinton and Epstein on one of Epstein's planes when Bill Clinton was on the plane with some women who, according to my source, looked underage.
And then he talks about how they went in the back and how the source was freaked out and then never wanted to travel with them again. Huh. Seems exactly like the confirmation that we're getting here from James O'Keefe and his undercover reporters that just got this bombshell statement that collaborates and says essentially the same thing.
Confirmed that Epstein worked for the CIA and is a foreign asset.
So DOJ was settling a case, and they were just letting him, do house arrest and they minimized his arrest. Part of that is because all the victims kept on flipping, and they didn't have anyone to go to trial with. The more importantly part is they didn't want to go after him.
Now, why did the victims keep flipping? Epstein also had an intimidation campaign where he would literally take dead horse heads or dead animal heads and leave them outside of doorsteps of journalists, of witnesses, of people who were complaining against them. There was also settlements of Epstein going to these people, be like, yeah, I'll give you this much money. The guy moved around billion, over $1 billion through the banking system without any kind of rules, laws, and regulations. And a lot of that money was kind of moved around without even asking what was going on here. Strange, huh? Weird how that happens. Who has the power to do all that? Well, yeah, the government, the intel agencies.
He's a asset for the United States and Israel.
And Israel. All right. Tucker Carlson came out. Epstein works for Mossad. Yeah. What other government? There's other people that are like, I'm a military intelligence analyst. I think it was China or Russia. Shut up. Shut up with your lies. All right? Stop lying.
For the CIA. I just know that's what he was. And that's why he was protected so long for this. And people turned a blind eye about all this garbage that he was doing in the United States. He had a lot of
a blind eye towards children being hurt here. There's right-wing influencers that are like, there's no children. What are you talking about? Everyone was of age. You paid off shells, all right? Disgusting, horrible shells. I don't know what they got over some of these people, or maybe they're just paying them off. I don't know. But there's right-wing influencers saying, oh, no, nothing to see here. You guys are all crazy. You guys are all just bad conspiracy theorists. Epstein, there's nothing happening really here with Epstein. Shut up, go away. And I'm like, what? Excuse me?
A lot of secrets. More about Israeli stuff than anything else.
He had a lot of secrets, with more about Israeli stuff. What kind of secrets did he have with the Israeli stuff? Because he was hanging out with the former prime minister. They were talking to Peter Thiel about launching security companies together as he was investing in Peter Thiel. What was going on there?
I mean, he was doing stuff for Israel and the United States.
He was doing stuff for Israel and the United States. Huh. What kind of stuff? Did it include taking children and then using them to hurt them? Yeah, that type of sick stuff, okay? Disgusting stuff that there needs to be justice about.
He's working for both.
Glenn Prager, the Department of Justice investigator on the Epstein case, then talks about whether President Trump was involved.
And this is the important aspect here, right? Because then he kind of goes off and he's like, yeah, I mean, I talked to the victims. They all talked about how children were being hurt when Clinton was there. But when Trump was there, they didn't say that.
That I have never seen, that he's so hesitant to now show what's going on, and releasing all those files. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there. But
he's not protecting himself because there's nothing there. That's something we said. I'm like, he's protecting someone, or someone told him to shut up. Now, this means our government is hijacked. This means our government right now is being ruled by someone who has more power than Donald Trump, that Donald Trump is protecting and destroying all of his political capital on. I wouldn't say all, maybe that's an exaggeration, but a significant portion of his legacy, of his political power, was just extinguished and ruined on the backdrop of him saying Epstein's a hoax. The whole Epstein thing's a hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. Shut up. Don't talk about it. You're a weakling if you talk about it. What? What? Why are you doing this? Why are you protecting Clinton when there's people there who were talking about how there's children there that were being hurt when he was on that plane? And then he continued to be on that plane and he continued to hang out with Epstein. Why?
He's protecting a lot of people.
The citizen journalist boarded American Airlines Flight 1634 and landed in D.C. Monday at 8 o'clock at night and proceeded to go to dinner with this man, this DOJ investigator, at a restaurant called Blue Duck Tavern. Glenn?
Yeah, and then they went off more, and then he detailed how there was a big fight between Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. Makes sense. But listen, I still got some questions about Kash Patel because he's been put out there. And he's lying. You can see it by his eyes. He's lying. He's like, yeah, we released all the credible information. Yeah, they're absolutely zero. No, there's no, you know. I'm like, what? Even Thomas Massie called him out for lying. I'm going to play those videos later, as allegedly he's working with Democratic Congress members on combating, quote, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on social media. Can you guess what kind of theories they are? They're probably about the foreign government involvement of other people in the Epstein files. What foreign government? There's also this story, CBS News, confidential memo showing how Epstein's first attempt to self-exit, oh yeah, that was just his roomie almost taking his life. People don't forget about that. But Bill Barr, the guy whose father gave Epstein his start, who was investigating all of this, told us not to worry. Don't worry about that. He actually did try to self-exit when there's absolute proof. Again, Ghislaine Maxwell literally is walking around in a cushy jail with yoga classes called the Camp Cupcake. New minimum security. They're even talking about letting her go. Why? Why did the Trump administration do this, right? When there's people coming out calling her monsters. Why is Kash Patel coming out there lying to Congress, lying to the American people, lying to all of the people that supported him before, destroying, compromising his self-respect, his reputation? For what? As now, we got more confirmation that, yeah, it was Israel, it was the CIA. You're talking about the CIA has more power than the president of the United States. I could see it. But now we got to be honest with ourselves, right? Now we got to talk bluntly here. Donald Trump's not in charge. The CIA is. The CIA right now is in charge with the federal government. Because listen, this is what I heard from the people I talked to. CIA came to him. I said, oh, you want to release the Epstein files? You're not. You're not going to do that. And Trump's like, okay. They're the ones dictating. They're the ones calling the shots here. And now this guy verified it. Now, James O'Keefe also in this video talked about how one of his last few messages with Charlie Kirk was asking what should he do because this makes the Trump administration look bad. And he officially, Charlie Kirk told him, be a journalist. He was like, do I be a Trump supporter or do I be a journalist? What do I do? And Charlie Kirk, I told him to be a journalist. Now, the Department of Justice released a statement saying, quote, this individual worked at the Department of Justice as a program analyst over 15 years ago. He has no understanding. Now, even if it was 15 years ago, that means he still has the data and information. This has been an ongoing case ever since the 1990s. So hypothetically, 15 years ago, right? And again, even if he was there 15 years ago, right? He still has probably friends at the bureau. He probably still has his sources. They might privately contract. Who knows if the DOJ is ever even telling the truth here since they've been lying to us through their teeth. I don't believe anything they have to say unless they prove it. Give me his personal records. Give me his private records. Show me how you fired him. Show me his ID badge. Show me the logins because guess what? You have no credibility left. Why don't you have any credibility left? Because you looked us straight in the eyes and you released a memo that you didn't even sign. Kash Patel thought he had some kind of G moment saying, I didn't use an auto pen. You still released a memo saying, no blackmail operation here. Right? No extortion. No children hurt here. No. He totally self-exited. He totally just, even when the official story makes no sense at all, the official story, we're just going to he totally self-exited. Absolutely. Broke his neck in many positions, which was impossible, from the paper towel thin sheets there. Yeah. You're going to believe that. That's the FBI DOJ official statement. I'm sorry. This is why no one believes them right now with what happened to Charlie Kirk in their investigation. This is why. All right? That's a huge portion why. There's so many conspiracy theories, there's so much mistrust, and there's no momentum behind this government from being able to actually achieve and do actual incredible things. Now again, they can do more awesome, incredible things. Some of the things they do are great. They said, but this is the DOJ. Oh, he hasn't worked there for 15 years. Doesn't matter. He still probably knows a lot about this, right? This has been ongoing. This has been an ongoing thing for what, 30 years? So yeah, he was probably there. Cool. He has no understanding of or access to the underlying facts in this investigation. Your investigation was open, shut, and closed. What investigation? Right? Because you still have a bunch of documents you haven't released. Why haven't you released those documents? Quote. And this is what the Trump administration could do. Trump could just like launch the Bill Clinton information, like, whoopsie. Yeah, Bill Clinton. Multiple times he was, bring in Bill Clinton. Let's have him testify in Congress. Let's have him right now. Come on, Billy Boy. Let's go. Let's get over here. Tell us. Okay, what happened? How many children were there? How old were they? What happened in the back of the plane? His statement should not be considered accurate. I think they're very accurate because they literally confirm everything we've been saying for a number of years now. It is disgusting that someone would further exploit victims. No. That's what you did. You did. You exploited them, and then you threw them down the frickin' river. You threw them down the well, and you got rid of them. And you dangled them and gave them the hopes of justice, and then you dropped them. And you said, bug off. Get out of here. You're a weakling. It's a Democratic hoax. Nothing happened to you. Shoot. Get out of here. Who's the spokesperson? I want to know. Because they're full of crap. All right? They're lying full of crap. This DOJ are a bunch of lying, filled with crap, cockamouths. All right? All right? You're lying. You are lying. You're the one who exploited them. You're the one who disappointed them. You're the one who screwed them over. You're the same DOJ. You're the same administration when they came out and are literally risking their lives saying, please, can we get justice here? Please release the documents. Please just tell the world the truth of what's going on here. Please don't call this a Democratic hoax. What does this administration do right after that? Right? As they're on the doorstep, it's a Democratic hoax. Shut up. Stop talking about it. That's not the way to address this situation. The dam is breaking. This is major. Shouts out to James O'Keefe, everything that they're doing. Get this video out there. Spread it far and wide. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/wearechange.